Oklahoma trying to beat Bama for a third straight time since joining the SEC. Is that what's really happening here? Jay Smith of Locked On Sooners. He is at Unfair Sports on Twitter here to discuss. Jay, I think this is going to happen. I feel better about Oklahoma's defense. I'm not going to say a good thing about either of these offenses. I refuse on principle. I think Oklahoma's got better special teams. I think Oklahoma is at home. In fact, I know Oklahoma is at home. Give me the Sooners in this. How are you feeling?
I find it hilarious that now it's been so many turntables going on for people of, yeah, no, Oklahoma a third time? Yeah, I think they can actually do it. I think they can pull it off. And it's mainly because you said it perfectly. In the three phases of football, two of them Oklahoma dominates in comparison to Alabama. Now, Alabama has a really good defense. I'm not going to act like they don't when they're clicking on all cylinders. That Georgia game did not look good for them. But overall, they're pretty solid typically. Oklahoma's offense right now is just not at the level we want it to be. But, Brent Venables talked about John Mateer most recently on his press conference and how he still feels a little pain in that thumb, but he's not going to be pain-free, but he's gripping the ball a lot better. And he's no longer wearing the tape that he had on his thumb since the Texas game. That, to me, feels like a good indicator. Maybe that means he'll make some better decisions. Maybe that means he can throw the ball in the spots that he really wants to throw it to. I don't know. We'll see. But if anything, the fact that special teams and defense are the two things that we are really good at this year, that's got your boy very confident in it. So the feeling in Oklahoma, the feeling in Norman, the feeling in just the area and around the fan base and the pulse, they're excited about this game because they feel like they can pull it off one more time, especially because that availability report that dropped looked very favorable for the Sooners.
The other thing that works in Oklahoma's favor here is the weather forecast because it's not going to be warm. It's going to be a little bit cold. And that makes it, shall we say, at least a little bit more challenging, precipitation or not, to throw the football. Now, neither one of these teams runs it very well. One of these teams has the better running quarterback of the two. We have to talk about these offenses, Jay. I hate talking about bad football, but we have to do it. This is just part of the job, what I signed up for. Okay, let's talk about it.
It's a struggle. It's hard.
These offenses are a rough watch, both of them.
Yeah.
Which one sucks less?
I'm going to say at this moment, because Oklahoma did get 3 weeks of rest, I think Oklahoma's offense will look better than Alabama's this week around for two reasons. One, John Mateer looked a lot better against LSU. He did throw 3 interceptions. That's fine. I totally get it. One was a tip pass that was fantastically sniffed out by Harold Perkins. That's what he's really good at doing. But I give John Mateer credit because he got 2 tackles in that game as well because he chased down the 2 interceptions that were tipped and led to somebody else's hands. The third one was one that was just a bad throw. He didn't even try to give his wide receiver the opportunity to go for the jump ball. He just threw it too flat, and we can break that down another time. But I do feel like Oklahoma's offense should look better. I mean, John threw for 300 yards on the LSU secondary that doesn't really give up a whole bunch of yards like that. We're starting to see them get a little bit better. When we went out there on tempo against LSU, you start to see John cooking, start to dealing. Then you start to see guys get open. The 2 big plays from Deion Burks as well as Isaiah Satania, they hit. So to me, Oklahoma's offense should look better now that they've had 3 weeks of rest for these 2 running backs who've been beat up this entire season. That to me is probably where the game changer is going to come in. When we were healthier, you saw good runs. You saw big runs from Torrey Blaylock against LSU. You saw Xavier Robinson get some good runs against Bama and Tennessee. I think that now that we're healthier because we had that rest, I think that you'll probably see them actually produce a run game against Alabama this week.
Oh, I don't believe that for a second. I don't think either of these teams are running the ball. I will not get there.
Okay.
Let me play the other side. Bring an Alabama perspective into this. One of the reasons that I doubt the Crimson Tide, the Ryan Williams situation is weird. I think it has given a weird vibe to that side of the ball. They don't know what to do. It's strange. It's odd. Mm-hmm. Everything about his profile should fit with Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb's identity. For some reason, injury, some issue off the field we don't know about. I have no idea. So something isn't right, and it feels weird. Still, The depth of wide receivers at Alabama, especially if they do get Ryan Williams going, is better than that of Oklahoma. Ty Simpson is a better pure passer than John Mateer is in this football game. If I were to change my pick, I'm not. But if someone were to pick Alabama, not a crazy thing to do, I think that's where the confidence would start. I think that's where you would begin is, hey, here's an NFL caliber quarterback. Here's some NFL caliber wide receivers. And yeah, Alabama can't run the ball very well, but you know what? Those guys can make plays. And sometimes you can call the perfect defense, and a good quarterback receiver combo will just beat you because a guy makes a great throw and a great catch. What do you say to that as an Oklahoma guy?
That we saw how that went against Oklahoma in Tuscaloosa on November 15th. And let me explain what I mean. This pass rush is one of the best ones in the country. This run defense is one of the best ones in the country. And the thing that they did to Alabama that most people don't realize is not only did Oklahoma lead in that game for 52 minutes out of the 60-minute game that they played. Yeah, scored 23-1. Yeah, that's what it was. Oklahoma led for 52 minutes. At the third quarter, at about the 12-minute mark, Oklahoma did not allow Alabama to get past 50-yard line. It's really hard to win a game when you go almost half a game without getting past the 50.
In Tuscaloosa. Don't forget. That was in
Tuscaloosa.
Yep.
You prevented them from being able to get past the 50. I expect Oklahoma to turn that up. And the reason why I expect them to turn that up is our Mason Thomas is back, our best pass rusher, who did not play in that game, by the way. He has been gone since the first quarter of the Tennessee game after he returned that fumble for a touchdown. He did not play. He's back. Your interior guy, Jaden Jackson, who was a freshman All-American last year, he played 12 snaps in that game because he was dealing with some ailments. He's now back and should be playing. So not only will the run game probably get turned down even more, but Ty Simpson's got a lot of stuff to deal with. So Ryan Grubb's going to get very creative. The problem with that creativity is you're doing this in Norman. You're doing this with a fan base that's going to be losing their mind because it's the first playoff game in Norman. So you're going to have a crazy fan base at night with some wind, a little cold, probably around 40 to 50 degrees, but a good wind chill that's going to drop it in the 30s. So they're going to have to adjust that part on their offense versus this Oklahoma defense. That's where the challenge is going to come in for them. Do I think it's possible? I'm not going to say they can't, but their last 3 games on offense have not been very desirable since Oklahoma. They haven't thrown for 300 yards in 3 straight games, and that's including Eastern Illinois. Now, they ran all over them for 269 yards, but they're not going to do that against Oklahoma. Exactly, no. Right? Georgia, that Georgia game tells you everything you need to know. 212 yards passing, -3 rushing. And I do believe Oklahoma's defense is better at home than Georgia is at the neutral site, which is kind of a pseudo home game because it's up the street around the corner from Athens.
Yeah, I just struggle picking Alabama, even though I'm not that bullish. I don't think either of these teams are very scary at the moment to go on a run in the college football playoff. I think whoever wins is going to lose their next football game because I just don't trust such big elements of what they're trying to do. And here's the other thing with Alabama and why I lean towards Oklahoma. Even if their offensive line plays better, and I haven't heard at least enough discussion about how Alabama's offensive line is average at best, outside of Caden Proctor especially. And I don't know that they're 100% with Parker Brailsford up front. Maybe he gets back to full strength and plays a better brand of football. But even when Ty Simpson has had time, even when he has made throws, Jay, when was the last time this Alabama offense clicked? And again, that's an if against this Oklahoma front, which is dangerously good. I can't think of the last game where I felt like Alabama's offensive rhythm was sustained. It was the first quarter of the Auburn game. It's Auburn. They stunk. They didn't make a bowl game. They had an interim head coach. Nothing about that. Despite what I can't believe the playoff committee chair actually said those words once upon a time. That is truly insane. But that's the best the Alabama offense has looked in the last month consistently. And that was only half a game.
That's the bad part, right? That's the bad part of that. And to address a couple of things. One, the the challenge, like you said, for Alabama is they're not clicking on offense, and this defense is clicking very well in Oklahoma. Like they are on all cylinders.
The Alabama
ready to go.
defense is also playing well. I want to give
And
them
they
credit
are.
for that.
They are.
They have played much better.
But that leads to my second thing. I've been hearing this a lot from people on this brand of football can't win games type statements. Sure. But let me rebuttal that. What was the score of the Indiana-Ohio State game?
13-10.
That was basically a defensive battle, wasn't it?
Not basically, it was.
So what makes you think Oklahoma couldn't do that? That's
Nothing.
the question I asked, because Oklahoma has shown that in the Michigan game, whenever they're getting healthier and they're going, the offense can get to going. They can get big plays. And that's the thing that usually opens up defensive battles is one busted play is what leads to teams being able to separate themselves. Ohio State's biggest problem in that Indiana game was what? Their kicker missed the game-time field goal. What does Oklahoma have? Lou Groves Award winner who has hit 23 straight field goals. Like, you've got a titanium leg dude that has been pretty darn consistent. His first miss was against Michigan. He missed that one, and he hasn't missed a field goal since. So, in my argument for Oklahoma
Jay Smith,
possibly
Jinx
making
extraordinaire.
You're right. Exactly. I probably did. But my argument for Oklahoma's possibility of making a run is that their special teams is strong and their defense is very strong. The offense just need to click just enough. And the offense has shown they've averaged about 350 yards a game overall. When they click just enough, they just move the ball. Plus, the special teams always puts them in a position to where they have favorable field positioning, which is one of the tops in the country. So
Yeah, let me
argue
wrap.
that.
Let me wrap with this thought in this Oklahoma-Alabama game, and then I want your score prediction. I think Oklahoma wins 17-13, first to 20. But let's say my score prediction isn't right on the money as it was for one Oklahoma game earlier this year. First to 20 wins.